How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just want to come on here for a while and give my review for All Elite Wrestling's pay-per-view event, Double or Nothing 4, from last night, which was May 29th, 2022. I gotta say it was awesome from start to finish. Now, there was the pre-show and the main show. So, for the pre-show, uh, there was one match for the pre-show, and for the ma- so the match for the pre-show, it was Hook and Danhausen versus Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Hook and Danhausen went over cause Danhausen pinned Mark Sterling with an overhead suplex from Hook. Now, now besides the matches, the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, and the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, came out on stage, and Max Caster done a rap on Las Vegas, Nevada, and Austin Gunn said Full Gear. Colton Gunn said All Out. And then Anthony Bowens said Las Vegas, Nevada. Anthony Bowens said Double or Nothing. The Acclaimed have arrived. And everything. And then Anthony Bowens was saying to the crowd, was saying to the crowd to say ass boys, and the crowd was chanting ass boys, and Anthony Bowens was saying repetitively saying ass boys, and so Max Caster, Colton Gunn, and Austin Gunn all wheeled Anthony Bowens backstage and everything. That was cool. And Eddie Kingston cut a promo talking about, Eddie Kingston cut a promo drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels, talking about how he's fighting these demons and drinking and everything. And Eddie Kingston cut a promo drinking a bottle of whiskey, which was Jack Daniels, and and was talking about how he was fighting these demons and how he was how he was how he was how he was in his head again, and how he hated Chris Jericho and everything, and how he was going to destroy Chris Jericho and for everything he's done to him and everything as well. That was cool. And AEW aired vignettes of the matches between of the matches between Hangman Page versus CM Punk for the AEW title, Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's title, MJF versus Wardlow Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay for the TBS Women's title. The Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker versus Eddie Kingston. The Blackpool Combat Club, which are Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. And Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz, in an Anarchy in the Arena match. And Britt Baker, wait a minute, Adam Cole versus, Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament final match in the men's division, and Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament final match in the women's division. That was cool. Now, besides all that, Now, besides all that, Tony Schiavone and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. Wait a minute. Now, besides all that, Tony Schiavone and Excalibur done commentary throughout the pre-show. They done awesome as usual. And Taz done guest commentary along with Tony Schiavone and Excalibur during the match between Hook and Danhausen versus Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. Taz done great on guest commentary. And the referee for the match, and the referee for that match, and the referee for the match between Hook and Danhausen versus Tony Nese and Mark Sterling was Mike Posey. Now, I will say this, the pre-show was awesome from start to finish. Now, the main show, for the matches, match 1, it was Wardlow versus MJF. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Wardlow went over with the Powerbomb Symphony. Well, after the match, the EMTs came out and hauled MJF out on a stretcher, and Wardlow celebrated his victory. And as Wardlow celebrated his victory and went on stage, Tony Schiavone went on stage and announced to Wardlow that, Tony Schiavone congratulated Wardlow for his victory against MJF, and then Tony Schiavone announced to Wardlow that he got a message from AEW President and CEO Tony Khan that Wardlow is now All Elite and everything. And then Wardlow thanked Tony Schiavone, and Wardlow continued to celebrate and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. Match 2, it was the Hardys, which are Matt and Jeff Hardy, versus the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Hardys went over because Jeff Hardy pinned Nick Jackson with the Twist of Fate Swanton Bomb combination from Matt and Jeff Hardy. Match 3, it was Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay for the TBS Women's title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Jade Cargill went over and retained the TBS Women's title with a diving Jaded. Now, after the match, as Jade Cargill was celebrating her TBS Women's title victory, the baddies, which are Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan, along with Stokely Hathaway, came into the ring to celebrate with Jade Cargill. And as that was going on, Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan picked Anna Jay up and held her down, and Jade Cargill was getting ready to attack Anna Jay, but Chris Statlander came out to save Anna Jay. But Anna Jay and Chris Statlander, was still 3-on-2. It was Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, and Kiera Hogan against Chris Statlander and Anna Jay. But then Athena came out, and the odds were even. So a stare down between all 6 women of Chris Statlander, Anna Jay, Athena, Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, and Kiera Hogan ensued, but Stokely Hathaway recommended Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, and Kiera Hogan to get out of the ring. And so the baddies, which are Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, and Kiera Hogan, along with Stokely Hathaway, left the ring, retreated from the ring. And Anna Jay, Chris Statlander, and Athena looked on and celebrated, looked on and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. Match 4, it was the House of Black, which are Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, versus the Death Triangle, which are Pac, Ray Phoenix, and Penta Oscuro. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the House of Black went over cause Malachi Black pinned Pac with the Black Mass. Now, after the match, as Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews were celebrating their victory, Julia Hart joined in on the celebration and everything. That was cool. Match 5, it was Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament final match in the men's division. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Adam Cole went over and advanced in the wait a minute. Match 5, it was Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament final match in the men's division. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Match 5, it was Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament final match in the men's division. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Adam Cole went over and won the Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament in the men's division with the boom. Match 6, it was Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament final match in the women's division, that was a great match, but the ending to it, Britt Baker went over and won the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament in the women's division with a roll-up. Now, after the match, Britt Baker, as Britt Baker went on stage after celebrating her victory, Adam Cole came on stage, and Martha Hart, widow of the late great Owen Hart, went on stage as well, and Martha Hart made a speech talking about how the Owen Hart Foundation and AEW were honoring her late husband, her late husband Owen Hart, and talked about how it felt great to honor him in the squared circle again, and how all the men and women in the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament were done an amazing job with it, and she also thanked her children, Oj and Athena Hart, and her sister Virginia, and thanked Tony Khan, Chris Jericho, and all the producers and crew of AEW and everything, and then talked about and then congratulated Adam Cole and Britt Baker on winning the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament in both the men's and the women's divisions and everything. And then Martha Hart presented the Owen Hart Memorial Cup and also presented the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament title in the men's division to Adam Cole, and the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament in the women's division to Britt Baker. And Martha Hart hugged Adam Cole, and then Martha Hart hugged Britt Baker, and Martha Hart thanked the fans and everything as well. That was cool. And that was after the match, by the way. Match 7, Match 7, it was Paige Van Zant and Men of the Year, which are Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page versus Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Men of the Year and Paige Van Zant went over because Scorpio Sky pinned Frankie Kazarian with the TKO. Match 8, it was Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby Allin. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Kyle O'Reilly went over with the diving knee drop. That was match 8, by the way. Match 9, it was Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Thunder Rosa went over and retained the AEW Women's title with the Fire Thunder Driver. Match 10, it was the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker versus Eddie Kingston, the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley, and Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz, in an Anarchy in the Arena match. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Jericho Appreciation Society went over because Chris Jericho and Jake Hager made Bryan Danielson pass out with a half Boston Crab from Chris Jericho and getting choked with a belt from Jake Hager. Match 11, it was the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Team Taz, which are Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs in a three-way tag team match for the AEW tag team titles. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Jurassic Express went over and retained the AEW tag team titles with but the ending to it, the Jurassic Express went over and retained the AEW tag team titles cause Jungle Boy pinned Swerve Strickland with the Thoracic Express from Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. And that was match 11, by the way. And match 12, which was the main event, it was CM Punk versus Hangman Page for the AEW title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, CM Punk went over and won the AEW title with the GTS. Now, besides the matches, Now besides the matches, the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, and the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, were out in the streets of Las Vegas, Nevada, and were talking about partying and drinking and scissoring everybody and everything as well. And then next thing you know, they were partying and drinking and scissoring and everything. And then they ended up back in their hotel asleep, and Billy Gunn came into the hotel and called his sons Colton and Austin Gunn disgraces, and then put over Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, calling them his sons and everything as well. That was cool. Let me see. Oh yeah. Lexi Nair interviewed Dan Lambert and Men of the Year, which are Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Well, Lexi Nair brought up to Men of the Year and Dan Lambert and asked, how does it feel to finally put your feud with Sammy Guevara to bed? And Ethan Page said, now Lexi, I feel amazing. And it felt amazing to finally get my hands on Sammy Guevara. But now we're on to bigger and better things. And Ethan Page asked Dan Lambert, he said, Dan, how you feeling? Dan Lambert said, I'm feeling golden. And then Ethan Page asked Scorpio Sky, he said, Sky, how you feeling? Scorpio Sky said, I'm feeling amazing as well, because now Frankie Kazarian because Frankie Kazarian and Sammy Guevara can no longer challenge me for the AEW TNT title. And now they're out of my head. Now and everything. And then then Scorpio Sky continued to talk more shit, but Scorpio Sky continued to talk more shit, but Dante Martin came along and said, Scorpio, if I heard correctly, Dante Martin said, now Scorpio, I know Frankie Kazarian and Sammy Guevara can no longer challenge for the AEW TNT title, but just because they can no longer challenge for the AEW TNT title doesn't mean that I can't. So I'm challenging you for the AEW TNT title. Scorpio Sky said, now Dante, I don't think you're ready, but I have seen you compete lately on Rampage, and you were impressive. So why don't you come down to SoCal Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite, and if you do, you'll get your shot at the AEW TNT title and everything. And then Scorpio Sky and Dante Martin stared each other down while Ethan Page and Dan Lambert were looking on and everything. That was cool. And Andrade El Idolo and Jose the Assistant they cut a promo in an office, and and Andrade El Idolo was talking about since day one in AEW. Andrade El Idolo was talking about how he doesn't like to lose, and since day one of being over the Andrade family office here in AEW, it's been a fluke, and he's had nothing but losers. And Andrade El Idolo asked Jose the Assistant if he had any open contracts, and Jose the Assistant said he had. Yes, I do, Andrade. And Andrade El Idolo said, well, I have a new member of the Andrade family office, and he's my friend, and you know who I'm talking about. Jose the Assistant said, no, Andrade, I don't know what you're talking about. Andrade El Idolo said, yes, you do. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. He is my friend. And everything. And then Andrade El Idolo and Jose the Assistant got a knock on the door, and Jose the Assistant opened the door, and next thing you know, it was El Blanco Loco Rush. So Andrade El Idolo offered out his hand to shake El Blanco Loco Rush's hand, but El Blanco Loco Rush wouldn't shake Andrade El Idolo's hand. He offered a fist bump, so Andrade El Idolo and Blanco Loco Rush gave each other a fist bump. And Andrade El Idolo welcomed Blanco Loco Rush to AEW and to the Andrade family office and everything. That was cool. Also, AEW made an announcement that Wednesday night on AEW Dynamite in Los Angeles, California, the only match that's been announced, it will be Christian Cage, the Hardys, which are Matt and Jeff Hardy, and the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, versus the Undisputed Elite, which are Adam Cole, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. So, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Wednesday night. Looks like it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it. That was cool, by the way, but I'm looking forward to it and everything as well. Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the main show. They done awesome as usual. Caprice Coleman done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur during the match between the Hardys versus the Young Bucks. Caprice Coleman done great on guest commentary, and Taz done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur during the match between the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Team Taz. Wait a minute. And Taz done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur during the match between the Jurassic Express versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Team Taz in a three-way tag team match for the AEW tag team titles. Taz done great on guest commentary. And the referees for the event were Mike Chioda, Mike Posey, Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Wardlow versus MJF. Rick Knox refereed the match between the Hardys versus the Young Bucks. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay for the TBS Women's title. Rick Knox refereed the match between the House of Black versus the Death Triangle. Mike Chioda refereed the match between Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament final match in the men's division. Paul Turner refereed the match between Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament final match in the women's division. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Men of the Year and Paige Van Zant versus Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby Allin. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's title. Mike Posey, Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between the Jericho Appreciation Society versus Eddie Kingston, the Blackpool Combat Club, and Proud and Powerful in an Anarchy in the Arena match. Rick Knox refereed the match between the Jurassic Express versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Team Taz in a three-way tag team match for the AEW tag team titles. And Paul Turner refereed the match between CM Punk versus Hangman Page for the AEW title. So anyway, I just wanted to come. But anyway, well, all the referees done awesome as usual. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give my review for All Elite Wrestling's pay-per-view event Double or Nothing 4 from last night, which was May 29th, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.